Why hello, it's Claire and it's another daily challenge for January 22nd, I believe. Oh dear, gotta go see the doc tomorrow. Regular stuff. Hey, shoo! Oh, excuse me more. My body just hears mention of the doctor and starts getting sick. Wow, that's like some pre-cold shit right there. Oh dear. Okay. So, calling to do a challenge, yeah. Oh my god, you see the shit going down in Ukraine at the moment? Oh my word. Some of those videos and pictures and shit are insane. Fortunately, only 2 deaths so far. But like full-on riot shields, throwing Molotov cocktails, you know, all sorts of crazy shit. I need to actually catch up on the details because I have to admit I have been a bit wrapped up in my own shit and I have not actually kept up with what is the beef. I've heard, you know, the rough outline of European Parliament wanting to join the EU and Russia being all like, oh, fuck the EU and all that fun jazz, but I've not actually heard the details, so I have to admit I'm a bit ignorant of it at the moment. But you know, I'm hoping that Britain stops being stupid for a while and maybe the EU can grow, and you know, if things carry on. There's 2 kinds of schools of thought. There is the we shall be one sort of trade area kind of thing, where we are at the moment, status quo, not move on past that. That's kind of where England is, but they almost want to pull back on some stuff. And then there's the French view, really. I mean, it's held by a few other countries, Germans sort of as well. You know, this is states, not people, so to speak, but obviously states reflect the opinions of the people because they're elected and blah 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 and la 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 and generalizations and jazz. Oh, bollocks, hit myself in the face with a rock. That's what you get for talking politics. But they're more thinking along the Republic route, you know, like the whole United States kind of deal. How far it goes, how far it can go, depends on very much who you talk to. But unlike the United States, when they're united, so to speak, Europe is a lot more complex because there's a lot more history and there's a lot more time and there's a lot more just regulation and detail, and it's a lot more complex of an animal. Time and space, you know, sort of matter. It's a very interesting facet, you know. Growing up in South Africa, it's something that I'm very aware of, is that if, you know, and this is going to sound horribly racist, and I make no apologies for it because it's how it sounds, but prior to the East India Trading Company and all that, there really wasn't much going on in fucking Africa. It's, you know, it was, I'm trying to remember who had the wheel and who didn't, but distribution of like tech in Africa was pretty appalling. And things only really got moving once the Europeans started kicking up a fuss over there and going, hey, we want all your minerals and shit. It's like Zim was just sitting on so many diamonds. It was even bonkers, you know. There was stuff going on, don't get me wrong, but it was just in terms of stuff that carries on and like causes legacy shit, there wasn't as much. And it's a similar thing in America, right? it's almost worse in America because, well, we had apartheid and we had a lot of erasure of the, native culture there, really, through colonization and all that jazz. America was a lot more successful, so to speak, in its colonization. They were pretty harsh on eradicating native Indians, so the amount of history, so to speak, in a plot of land in America was very little. And when the unification of the states happened, there wasn't a lot of stuff to contend with. It was still pretty simple. Whereas unifying, English law is solid. It's got a lot of stuff, but it's based on everything from Magna Carta to basically the way things work is everything's on precedent here. So it's like, well, someone did this thing to a pig in the 16th century, and we have this ruling to go on, and we see no reason to change it. So we're going to rule on the fact that you own a car based on the fact of this old pig law. And it's not that extreme because things tend to sort of gradually get adapted and piecemeal and whatnot. But instead of a bunch of people sitting in a room trying to figure out the best thing to put in a document, we have a huge body of case law that establishes what you should do in most situations. There's not many cases where we come up short. And it's a similar deal for, some countries are easier, like for instance France, because of the revolution, threw out a lot, They kept some stuff, but, in European terms, the French Revolution, is still pretty recent, as crazy as that sounds. So, if you go towards the Russian bloc, so if you go towards all those countries, communism and the fun, happy times that we have there stomped over a lot of things the way that colonization did in a lot of other places. So it's been almost simplified there, as a lot of nation borders have been redrawn and stuff. But, you will still have a village that has been going for, 2-3 centuries, whatever, and, has a huge body of history that honours to some degree or another. And, it's just not the same if you're in South Africa or if you're in America or whatever. You just don't. Space is a lot less valuable because it's not endowed with as much time. The more recorded history that's acknowledged in a place, the denser a place is. It's almost like an MMO server. If you have grassy rolling plains and some artist has knocked out, who gives a shit, right? It doesn't mean much. But if you have a densely populated area that's been, built up by players and destroyed by wars and stuff, and has all of this history, it's all of a sudden every square meter of that real estate matters in some fashion. So it's an interesting thing, both in games and in real life, how time and space can compress. And you've got the whole Pratchett plays with it in his books a lot. He talks about this stuff all the time, scrunched up space and all that jazz. And then he talks about L space, because the whole how knowledge distorts space, which is him just playing with all those theories as well. Highly recommend Pratchett and Discord if you haven't read it, though recommending Pratchett feels kind of like recommending ice cream at this point. If you know what ice cream is, you've probably eaten it. Like, you're not gonna not eat ice cream. As strange as that sounds. I mean, what kind of monster would eat ice cream? It's just life not worth living, I tell you. I suppose if you're lactose intolerant. So what could you be? I don't know. I'm trying to think what intolerancy would allow you, would make you unable to consume fracture. Satire intolerance? Is that a thing? Have no sense of humor? Okay, I'm in two minds about whether I want to go into the haunted castle or not. Part of me says do it because, well, we don't do it that often and you're on camera. So I'm thinking I'm going to do it. I haven't had my black meter market ring off. I think if someone did say you can get the black market on the haunted castle. I do believe someone said that. Time glass, why did I waste that? Oh, bollocks. I thought he was stuck in a loop and he wasn't going to jump. Damn it! Okay. Well, that's that there. That's me being stupid.